In the last 24 hours, Netflix announced a deal to acquire Warner Brothers, bringing an end to a months-long bidding process with Paramount, Skydance, and Comcast. Here to break what it all means is Vincent Piturro from MSU Denver's Film and Media Studies program. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So is there a chance that this thing doesn't end up going through?
There's always a chance of that. It has to go through the regulatory process, and it does have some. It does have some people. There's certain people who don't want it to go through. Movie theater chains, for example, unions, for example. But it seems like these kinds of things go through eventually, although there are some interesting political implications on that end of the process, but that's not my area of expertise.
Sure.
But I think it will go through in the end.
Is there a chance that there are any changes to it coming up, or is what's there done?
I think what's there is done, and I think what we see and what has been reported. In fact, just this morning, I got up, looked at my phone, I got a message from Netflix saying, hey, we're going into this merger, so Netflix certainly thinks it's going through. I think Warner Brothers thinks it's going through as well, and I think it will get through the regulatory process as is.
Do you think, Vincent, that there is any threat to any other media companies with all of this going on? Should any other company be worried?
Oh, the other companies should certainly be worried. What Netflix is doing is they're buying a large catalog of movies and shows that they can now use on their own platform. For example, Harry Potter is part of HBO. The DC Comics is part of that group as well. So they get all that content, but they also get an actual working studio in Warner Brothers that produced some of the most, not necessarily important movies of the year, but popular movies of the year, and some of the more important ones, such as Sinners and One Battle After Another, through the Warner Brothers studio. So all of that content, plus all of the filmmaking and TV making, should make other companies worry that Netflix is going to be the behemoth of the group.
For sure, for sure. And for people at home sitting on the couch, you want to know how it impacts you. So if someone has Netflix or HBO Max or whatever it is, what should they be thinking?
Well, we'll probably see a bundle at some point. Now, the head of Netflix said for now they're going to keep them separate. And you can still sort of log on to HBO Max, you can log on to Netflix. I imagine at some point that will become one company, one bundle. Perhaps prices in the beginning will be a little bit lower, but those prices certainly will go up at some point. I think it will cost consumers more. These companies don't merge, don't buy other companies to make less money. They do it to make more money.
That's for sure. So now what will this mean for Warner Brothers in terms of how they release stuff?
See, that's the big question. That's the thing. So Warner Brothers makes movies. Warner Brothers distributes movies to theaters, as I talked about, like movies like Sinners. Those go into theaters. Now, the death of movie theaters, it's not the beginning of the end. That happened a while ago. We're more in the middle of that process. But this could mean the end of movie theaters as we know it. And I could see Netflix scaling down the movies that go into theaters more and more, so eventually everything will be streaming.
Wow. With just 20 seconds left, Vincent, is there anything else that I'm missing here? Anything else to keep an eye on as the fallout kind of continues here?
I would say keep an eye on the political process, keep an eye on what you're getting charged every month, but also get out to the movies, because 20 years from now, we may be saying, wow, remember when we used to go to the movie theaters?
It might be a throwback here pretty soon. We don't want that. Oh my gosh. Well, Vincent, thank you so much for coming in and breaking it all down this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.